Hey guys, just a quick video about Sue, TSU. Those of you who haven't heard about it yet, it's sort of almost an exact copy of Facebook. The only difference is that they revenue share with their users. So if you're a content creator, if you create videos or blogs or whatever other content that happens to attract users to the site, you get a share of the advertising that's on the site that I haven't actually seen yet. I haven't actually seen any advertising on there. I haven't spent a lot of time on there yet, but I haven't seen any advertising. Went looking for it recently, haven't seen it yet. So it might be because I'm in Japan. It might be not showing up because I'm in Japan, don't know. But the way it works is you can't get on there and look around like you can with Facebook. You know, anybody, even if you're not logged onto Facebook or not a member of Facebook, you can just go and look through Facebook pages. But the way this thing works is if you go to their website, you won't be able to see much except a bit of an explanation on the front page, and you won't actually be able to go and find users on there, which is sort of a funny thing. So it sort of means you have to join, and the only way to join is to enter a user's address. So sue.com and then backslash the name of the user. So I'll put a link underneath this video to my page on there, to the Japan channel page on there, and if you want to do it, it's just the same as Facebook. To join up or to sign up, all you have to do is just give them an email address and put a passcode in and you're in, basically, and then make a profile. So same as Facebook. So the way it works is, for example, if you use my address to log in or register the first time, and then you create content on there, and that content gets some views, then you will get a percentage of any advertising revenue, so you'll get some money. They have a credit system, actually interesting credit system, that you can actually give money to other members as well, which is sort of useful. That could have some other benefits as well, but you do get credit, and in the end, if you get a certain amount, they'll send you money. It also means that the person who introduced you to it, which in this case would be me, would get a small percentage of that too. And they call it a family. They probably shouldn't call it that. It doesn't sound really good. It sounds a bit cultish, but the way it works is like a family tree. So if I introduce you to it, it looks a bit like a pyramid, but it's not a pyramid because we don't have to pay any money. So I think it's probably, even though it looks like a pyramid, because if I introduce you and then you introduce your friend, it's not your friends, and then they introduce their friends. It's more of a distribution chain sort of thing, so that as it goes down the line, anybody who introduces anybody else is going to get a percentage of their revenue, and it goes back up the chain. So you could end up getting little bits and pieces from all sorts of people. So don't know how effective it's going to be. Gave it a try just because it's an alternative to Facebook. I mean, it's always good to have an alternative to everything we use. You know, we've got Daily Motion as an alternative to YouTube already running, so we've got our other videos, our Japan channel videos on there, and so this is an alternative to Facebook, and probably always a good idea to have an alternative. You know, we gave up on Google AdSense and started another alternative to that, so it's good to have alternatives so that these big companies can't screw us, or if they do screw us, we can just walk away from them and use someone else. So yeah, so if you want to have a look at it, by all means, if you are a content creator, it's probably more worth your while than if you're just Joe Public. But either way, if you want to have a look at it, the only way you can look at it is to register. So the link will be underneath this video. You can use the Japan channel link to register and then have a look at it. It's not much different from Facebook. But yeah, that's about it really. It's sort of it would seem that if it's going to be big, that getting in now would probably be a good thing, because if you end up with a big family of people where people keep passing down, you know, if you know 5 of you guys register on there using the Japan channel's address, and then you know you guys tell friends about it and 5 of them register. It would seem like a pyramid. Usually with the pyramid schemes, usually the people that are in first make a few dollars, and the people that are last usually don't make anything. And it probably would be like that because we're not paying anything, but it could be if it's a successful site, as time goes on, everybody might be registered on there and you won't be able to get new people onto it or something like that. Hard to know. Or it might just die in the arse. You know, they're competing with Facebook, so hard to know. But either way, if you want to have a look, my thinking was I'd just register on there and I'd post a few videos on there and see what happens with it, you know. It's good to have a foot in the door with things like that at the start. And then there's your alternative. Same with Daily Motion. Those of you who haven't had a look yet, we've got the Japan channel on Daily Motion, which is actually a French-owned alternative to YouTube. And there's a few benefits to that. One is that because it's French-owned, they're more liberal with their censoring, so you can get away with a bit more stuff on there. And it's not Google-owned, which is really nice, isn't it? So yeah, it's good to have the alternatives. Give the alternatives a shot. It also keeps companies like Facebook and YouTube on their toes if we use alternatives sometimes like that. You know, just by joining a site like Sue, it's going to help support it just by joining it, just by sheer numbers. It's going to help them, and then that keeps Facebook a little bit more of a run for their money as well. Same as YouTube, you know. YouTube's just, Google is so arrogant. Those guys are so arrogant. They really think they can treat everybody like shit and get away with it, you know. And that's why any alternative to YouTube, any alternative to Google, I'm always quick to support, because it just, you know, the more of us that support the alternatives to Google, the more Google has to be careful and lift their game a bit more, because they're not. They think they're invulnerable, but they're not. I think they're going to fall. I think that if you treat the public with enough arrogance, that sooner or later they'll just walk away from you. And as different alternatives come up, people go, oh, fuck Google. And it's starting to happen already. I notice when I make videos that are critical of Google, there's always a few people that put their hands up and say, yeah, fuck them. They don't like them. They can see the way they treat us and the way they screw us. Any of the content creators on YouTube that have been there for more than a few years, that can remember what YouTube was like before Google, talk to any of them and you won't get much support from Google from them, because they know what it's like to be screwed by Google. So they've screwed us badly, those guys, you know. But again, though, they're great at PR, Google. They've got a whole heap of people convinced they're wonderful, and you know, there's always Google supporters. That's the other side of the coin. Whenever I make a video critical of Google, there's always a whole bunch of people who get quite emotional about it. If you don't like them, you shouldn't use them. Fair enough. Quite often I don't. Quite often I do use the alternatives to Google for that very reason. But having invested so much time into YouTube, you know, over the last 6 or 7 years, you know, posting on an alternative site like Daily Motion is a good idea. Actually, I'll put a link for Daily Motion under here as well. If you haven't seen that already, you might want to have a look. Daily Motion's not a bad option, particularly if you speak other languages as well. But it's a bit more international, you know. It's not sort of American dominated like YouTube is. But yeah, happy to use alternatives, but just for now we're going to start on YouTube as well. But that's not going to last forever. I can see the way they're going, particularly with their pay for view thing and all the rest of that. It's getting less and less attractive. The day, I'm totally convinced the day's going to come. It might be in a month, or it might be in a year, or it might be in 5 years, but I have no doubt at all the time's going to come where I'm going to walk away from YouTube. No doubt. No doubt. That's why I'm posting everything on Daily Motion, so that all the videos are somewhere else. So if I walk away from YouTube, that will already be set up somewhere else, you know. So yeah, Sue, if you don't like Facebook, if you're sick of Facebook, or if you know, interested in this, have a look. Just take a minute to register and have a look. If you're a content creator, if you have blogs, or if you have photos or videos or whatever it is that you do, it's not a bad option. Instead of, you know, until now, people like us have helped Facebook grow. I mean, we've got 3,500 likes. Oh no, total would be more like 5,000 likes now on Facebook, which basically means we've really helped support their website And of course we don't make a cent out of Facebook, but they make obviously a lot of money out of us because they get all the advertising next to our content. So, you know, those of you who've had enough of that, this might be the alternative for you. So I've got to remember to put a link for Sue underneath this video and a link for our Daily Motion page underneath this as well, so you can have a look at that. Daily Motion you can just look at, you don't need to register on there. Other than that was it for now, I think. There's a few other topics brewing, guys. There's a couple other silly things going on at the moment. Just been too busy, but there's been a few other things going on around the world at the moment that really need to be talked about. I'll get to that. I might post it on Sue. There we go. More videos coming soon.